Hello and welcome to Stampin' by Hannah. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me on Make It Monday. And I have this card for you today. I thought I would share with you a really simple way to use those scraps of designer series paper that we all have lying around. And I thought this card was really cute. I sent this card to everybody that shopped with me during February. If you want to receive a card from me, all you have to do is shop with me during March and I will send you at least a card and a little sweet something. Or if you use my code club, details for that are in the down bar below, you'll get some free product too. So, shall we get making this card? It's really, really simple. I have got scraps of the Urban Underground paper because I've been using this so much prepping for my online card class this month, which comes with a whole pack of this and it's gorgeous. It's so pretty. I am loving these pieces. And I've actually only used 2 sheets, so there's two, I've used both sides of two pieces of paper. I've got a tiny weeny little scrap of Very Vanilla. I've got a card base in Basic Grey and then a piece of Very Vanilla that is cut to my layer size, which is 0.5 centimetre shorter and narrower than my card base. And I have embossed it already with the hexagon. Oh, now then, this embossing folder has the longest name of anything ever in the world. It is the Hexagon Dynamic Textured Impressions embossing folder, I think. But this also comes in my class kit this month. If you want to know more about my online card classes, if you go over to my blog, and all the information is there as always. And you'll be able to see a difference between these 2 pieces. So this one, I actually ran them both through at the same time. And they both embossed exactly the same. This one looks different because the last time I used this embossing folder, I had popped some black ink on this side, and I thought I cleaned it, but apparently I haven't. But I quite like that. I think it adds something. I don't know how well you can see it on camera that there is a difference. So this card is really, really quick and really simple to put together. I have grabbed a stamp set, and this one is the Designer Tin of Cards that I love, but I don't use very often. I love the font on this one, and I've used the Grateful stamp here, which normally on the front of our stamp cases and in the catalogue, our image is 100%, but they're not on this one because there's just so many stamps in there, so it is a little bit bigger. But first of all, once I've already pre-embossed this, and I've grabbed my Basic Grey Stampin' Right marker, and I'm just going to spritz a little bit of ink over it, just to add a bit of a grungy look. So I'm going to the brush end of your marker into the cap, and you're just going to flick it. Probably should call it flicking ink rather than spritzing ink. And every time you do it, it looks a little bit different. Just be prepared that there will now be ink on the inside of your cap. You might end up with inky fingers. But I'm sure you won't mind that. We're crafty, we always have inky fingers. So I'm going to pop that onto the front of my Basic Grey card base. This card comes together so quickly. Which when, like me, if you're mass producing cards as thank yous, is really handy. Because I make a lot of cards. And when you make a lot of cards, that's what happens. So I've got, these are all these pieces are cut to different widths and different lengths. But this one is the longest one. This is 1 inch wide and 10 centimetres long. I'm going to punch the end with a triple banner punch, which will take about 1.5 centimetres off, which I don't mind. And then the others I'm going to cut by hand when I find my scissors. I've got projects all over my desk today. It's one of those days where I need to film about 4 different projects, get loads done. I've only got an afternoon. As always, things are really busy. Nothing really changes. I'm sure your craft room is exactly the same. I've had far too many cups of coffee, but not quite as many cups of coffee as I had last time I had a filming day, because that went a little bit... Oh, I just got silly. I don't know what happened. Not that I'm always a bit silly. So I'm going to just bannering the ends of those, and I'm going to banner the ends of this piece here as well, just while I'm got my scissors in my hand. That's not the very... There we go. We'll get there in the end. There we are. So I'm going to stamp my Grateful Sentiment with delightful Dijon ink. And this is one of our ink colours that is going to retire in June. So if you love this, I would grab it now before everybody else gets their hands on it and thinks, has a panic and knows that they need to get hold of it. Stamped on there. And I don't mind that it's a bit wonky. That was the kind of look I was going for. Do you believe me? Not sure. So, snail onto these pieces. So I'm going to pop the longest one on first. And it's a really simple case of just layering up and looking at the patterns and the colours you've got and just layering them all up together. And what's really lovely about this kind of card is that you're never going to make the same one twice. I'm going to pop snail just on one end of that really long piece. I'm going to leave that free and just pop that on there. And the same with this piece, like that. You can see they're similar, but they're not exactly the same. Well, they're pretty close. I have... it's just one of those... Oh, having one of those days in my crafting to trying to make things look different. Not happening. I've got one piece of dimensional. I'm going to lift these pieces up because they're free ends. I've popped the dimensional underneath. Let's try and get them. There we go. And take the backing off. And stick. So now that is always going to be that little bit more dimensional than the other pieces. And the sides of your dimensional, just onto the back of the sentiment. And that's it. Straight down onto the card. And that is my quick and easy way to use up your scraps of Designer Series paper. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And check out my online card classes because I love this paper. This paper is, I think, actually I don't know. It's like they're like children. Can't choose a favourite, just can't. So, thank you very much for watching and I will see you again on Friday for a fabulous 3D Friday. Bye for now.